All right, take two. So Atropa has become a core coin of Pulsechain, and the Atropa ecosystem as a totality probably holds more power than any of the sub-communities on Pulsechain. So the Atropa ecosystem is a fascinating ecosystem in that it shouldn't be considered as individual tokens, but rather as a totality, as a whole. So each token is a part of a whole, and the whole is the Atropa ecosystem, and it was given birth when it was first bonded with DAI Stablecoin, so pDAI. So that was when Rael, the 414 dev, purchased 5 billion DAI Stablecoin. And so given there are many new people joining the channel, I'm going to show you the basics of navigating the Atropa ecosystem and how you can familiarize yourself with it. And again, if you want to join the discussion, the link is in the description. All right, this seems a lot better than it was just before. All right, so let's get started. So I'm gonna try and be reasonably quick in this one. So obviously, whenever I start with the Atropa ecosystem, I always start by looking at the Richard Heart core coins. I usually look at Pulsechain or Pulsex, and I start from there because that's really the driving force of everything on Pulsechain. So you can consider that to be like the US dollar in the sense of the way that it drives everything in this particular blockchain, so in this little economy. Then I'll always look at what Atropa's doing. So I'm always keeping track of the movements of Atropa. But if you can see how they're moving now, I mean, you can see the very, very close similarities between these charts. As I've shown many, many times, they used to be inversely correlated. So in other words, when this was going down, Atropa was going up. When this was going up, Atropa was going down. But now they're more locked together. So you can see here, this is going down, down, up, and now it's going down, down. And really, you can see very, very clearly here the evidence here with the way that these candles are moving just here, where we had the interpol FUD wick. So also, yeah, shout out to all the Jeets who sold when they heard that Richard Hart, his watches got taken or something like this. There was rumors that it was because of Exologist stream where he said Richard Hart was arrested. So it's clickbait. This is what people have to do for attention, right? Because yeah, if we really want to share the news, sometimes you have to have these like outrageous things. But he ended up changing it straight away. But I don't know if people sold because of that clickbait title, there was like a 10% dump immediately, or if it was because of the news spread of the watches going around, so the watches being taken by the Finnish police who are after him. So yeah, so for the new people, Kimbo, what's going on, Kimbo? So Kimbo, obviously a bit of context. Richard Hart is basically like the Batman of cryptocurrency. So he's like on the surface, everybody thinks he's like the bad guy. He's like the villain, but he's the only one that is protecting the core principles of what cryptocurrency is. But if you go around and look at all the mainstream media, he's like the bad guy. Everyone says it's just all the same talking points. So it's just like mainstream news. Nobody really does any research. They kind of just research off that guy who researched off that guy who researched off that guy. So everybody thinks he's a scammer. So this is one thing that really people need to understand straight off the bat, that there's all this FUD surrounding it. So the people who really believe it, they understand who Richard Hart is. They've listened to him talk. They've understood his nature. They've spent time with him. So they understand, hey, this guy's, if he was going to rug, if he was going to scam, he would have done this a long time ago. He wouldn't have gone through all the pain and suffering of creating this blockchain when he could have just rugged the top of Hex, which would have made him probably like, billions and billions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. So, I mean, yeah, people are just really stupid in their assessments and really poor judgments of character. So I would like to think, on the whole, the Atropa ecosystem and the people that are within the Atropa ecosystem are definitely of a higher caliber, a higher level of consciousness. So this is why I particularly like, and this is why I've gravitated towards it. And then obviously the other thing that I look at straight off the bat always is pDAI. So how's pDAI moving? So DAI Stablecoin. So yeah, to the Jeets, beautiful. Keep selling, keep being fools. Like, if you guys want to fall for the dumb news and why haven't I got my 10,000x yesterday? Why wasn't I able to buy a Lamborghini for Christmas for all my family and get my mom out the hood? Well, you guys don't belong here. It's not that type of blockchain. It's long and steady, and it's going to take time, but I believe it's going to get there eventually. So I always start by looking at the core coins, Atropa itself, what it's doing, and pDAI itself. But you can really see Atropa and pDAI are pretty much moving side by side also, it's really quite self-evident. So we've got 3-day candles here as well. So I just want to bring this so it's nice and close together so you can really see these are like locked. The charts are basically exactly the same because of the liquidity bonding. So they're so closely bonded together in liquidity that when one moves up, the other one moves up. So at the moment, basically a lot of economic energy goes into pDAI, which also therefore pulls up Atropa. And because Atropa is connected with lots and lots of other tokens, it pulls up the whole Atropa ecosystem. So in terms of navigating around, in terms of learning, one of the things that I like to do is, one, I'll set up charts like this just to get like a macro understanding of it. And two, I'll set up another, like I'm always using multi-charts. So I'm looking at multi-charts, and I'm always looking at the different relationships with different tokens. So I don't do all of them. I just pick ones that I really like. And to be perfectly honest, this needs to be like really updated. I haven't updated this for quite some time actually. So I should be putting like G-Baby in here. But yeah, there's literally hundreds of tokens. So really, it's kind of about just picking your favorite tokens and familiarizing yourself with the concept of the fact that this is an ecosystem. So it's a totality. So it's not like, oh, I'm buying Bitcoin and I'm hoping Bitcoin goes up. It's more like I'm investing in cryptocurrency. So it doesn't matter what goes up. Everything is bonded in liquidity in all of cryptocurrency. So as Bitcoin is going up, it's really dragging everything else up with it indirectly when we have like alt seasons. So that's how I consider the Atropa ecosystem. So it's really like a stock market or like an ETF style kind of cryptocurrency in a way. So what's going on, Mitchell? Thanks for giving me the information to learn this ecosystem. Yeah, my pleasure, Paul. I don't think I've ever seen you comment in here before, man. So what's going on? What's going on, Globetrotter? I don't know about these WZT. He's being seized. I don't know what these. He's being seized. Anyone could pay media to pump FUD. Same with Cointelegraph. I also saw the FUD. Someone probably paid. Yeah, man, exactly. I mean, look, FUD gets views and views gets advertising revenue. That's the thing. That's what news is. News doesn't give a shit about the truth. News gives a shit about advertising revenue. This is the world of capitalism. Truth. There is no such thing as truth. It's really just about constructing a narrative to maximize profits. This is the reality that we live in now. That's why really people need to do their own research and formulate their own convictions and really trust your own heart and your own mind. That's why for me, it's like, it's very self-evident that this whole ecosystem is a benevolent force for all of cryptocurrency. And I do believe that in the future, people are going to look back on this time and go, wow, I can't believe I faded this ecosystem. I can't believe that there was these dudes who were really working in the background to make a truly decentralized financial system. And it was faded this whole time. And we didn't see it because we were too busy listening to the wrong voices, to the voices who had too much self-interest. So that's it, Warnock. Everything's moving in tandem. So what I don't get is a tax arc. I don't believe Richard would be so dumb even to move to a country that would tax the shit out of him when he would go to Dubai tax-free, for example. Yeah, I mean, look, and I'm sure, like, you know, he'll have his lawyers working on that. And I'm sure that, I mean, it's obvious, right? They did it with Andrew Tate. They did it with our boy, Julian Assange. They do it with everybody, guys. They do it with everybody. So this Interpol's just like, you know, it's just when they want someone, they're going to use all these forces in the world to try and catch that person, and they're going to construct these ideas. I mean, him beating up a 16-year-old, it's like, give me a break. I mean, maybe he did, I don't know, but you know, give me a break. It's innocent until proven guilty, right? It's innocent until proven guilty. There's no evidence to suggest that he did that. So okay, so yeah, this is what I'll do. I'll look at the macro, the whole overarching thing compared to the Richard Hart core coins, and then I'll also look at the totality. The thing that to me that's really interesting is, I mean, look, just look at this. I mean, if they move in tandem, this is why for me, like, the Atropa ecosystem is the core coin of Pulsechain because it's moving literally in tandem with Pulsechain and PulseX. So it's like, well, one, Richard Hart has never, ever, 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 ever said only buy my 4 coins. So the people who construct the idea to say only buy my 4 coins is the people who own those 4 coins. And I find it very frustrating that the whole blockchain is stifled with the majority of those voices, and that these types of things can't proliferate. And the fact that I'm the only person that's really talking about this, and I'm just some dumb noob trying to figure this out, and I'm not even smart enough to figure it out, and it's frustrating because I'm out here all by myself trying to figure this shit out. Nobody else is figuring it out. Like when Hex came out, there was all these people figuring out T-shares and trying to. I guess it was different because they were all like communicating with Richard at that time with Hex, and there was like a group chat for it. Whereas Atropa's like everything's in the background, everything's on like, Maria's talking to people through his YouTube channel. It's not straightforward, so it's very difficult. So it's difficult, the fact that I'm really the only one that's doing this, but it's fun and it's rewarding, and I do believe that it's going to pay off in the future because look at this. So from the 6th of September. PulseX and Pulsechain, same thing, did a 300%. And from the 3rd of September to the top, it did a 2,000% essentially. So for me, it's like, this is the core coin of Pulsechain. Atropa itself as a token is the core coin. It, in my opinion, trumps Pulsechain. It, in my opinion, trumps PulseX. If they're going to move in tandem, why not choose the one that is moving a lot more in a shorter period of time? So I know that opinion is going to be very controversial, but you know what? I've tried to be very diplomatic, and I still have Richard Heart core coins. So I've tried to be diplomatic, but I'm just going to be honest with everyone because, honestly speaking, if you want gains, here it is. This is where you're going to get the best gains for the safest returns, in my opinion. So the other place you can look if you want to familiarize yourself with Maria. So this is what made me mega bullish. This whole event, when was this? 9 months ago. So 9 months ago, what was that? It was about March. So basically this kick-started the next bull run with the Atropa ecosystem. So if we have a look here, so I think this would have been about March here, maybe. No, December. Or maybe it just kickstarted like an extra push or something. Like, I think it was this, like when Maria doxed himself. So I think it was around about here. So Maria came and did these interviews with people in, I think this was Zurich. So if you just go to YouTube, you type KSB TV, Maria Rael, and then I would recommend, the Zurich meetups. I would recommend looking at 1, 2, and 3. And then also you can look up Maria Rael in Amsterdam. I think this is brilliant, and it's something where you can see the kind of targets, the projections that Maria has for the token. So, for example, he projects Atropa to be $7.50 when DAI Stablecoin gets to $1. That's his projection. So if it all flows and gets to $1, then Atropa should be $7.50, and the upside for Teddy Bear, for example, is unlimited. Treasury bill was also $1. So yeah, there's a lot of really interesting things. How much of this is real? How much of this is, Maria says a lot of things used to say a lot of things in the chat log, like, oh, this thing's going to get to $20,000. And you're just like, what? What are you talking about? That's impossible. But it's happening. So BFF, buy BFF. He was telling everybody to buy BFF, and just through people buying it and through like the liquidity setup of it, it got to 8K. And at the moment, it's less than 8K, but it did get to 8K. And it's fallen below 8K, but let's see if it kind of holds this kind of a region. So obviously, because of the liquidity bonding, the whole of Pulsechain is getting dragged down. It's also affecting BFF at the light. It's affecting all of it. So it's affecting Teddy Bear. It's affecting, you can see the same Interpol wick. So this didn't mean that when the Interpol news came out that Richard Heart was on the most wanted list for tax evasion. Give me a break. That he was on the most wanted list. It wasn't everybody selling Teddy Bear and everybody also selling BFF and then everybody also selling Atropa. People just sold the shit out of the core coins and everything dumped because everything's liquidity bonded. So yeah, we will hear the truth of all of this soon. And I do believe the truth is going to prevail, just like Julian Assange. Bro was innocent. Bro basically just revealed the toxicity of the military-industrial complex of the United States military, the United States government. And Australia is also guilty for that too, because we, as pathetic, spineless pricks, did absolutely nothing to protect our citizen, and we did nothing to protect the truth because we're gutless and piss weak, absolutely piss fucking weak. So anyway, look this up. KSB TV, Maria Rael. This is also another really good talk with Maria, so you yourself can get a feel for Maria. So if you watch the talks and you have a very good sense of a person's vibe just by talking to them, I get a very good sense from talking to people. It's difficult with words, but once you hear them talk, you can feel who the snakes are, you can feel who the actors are, you can feel who the liars are, you can feel who the ones who are trying to manipulate you are, you can feel who the scammers are. You can really get a feel for it when you hear them talk. This is why the vibration is very, very important. It's not the words that necessarily that we see on the screen, but also that can also give it away as well. There's certain people where even just the words on the screen, I'm just like, I'm picking up a vibe here that I'm not getting a good vibe from. And then you hear them talk, and there's little subtle things that give them away, and I'm like, you're a dud. You're not somebody to trust. So if you listen to all of his talks, to me, there's nothing in there that indicates he shouldn't be trusted. And I felt exactly the same way with Richard Hart. So the watches being seized. And it wasn't even his best watches, so they can suck a fat one. So anyway, KSB TV. So in the link of this description, all of these links are going to be here, except for this one here. So just YouTube, KSB TV, Maria Rael. So you can look that up and find them all there. Then I would recommend having a look at this. So this is an old school thing that no one really talks about, but this was the old chat logs. And this is when Maria first did like a Q&A. So this was a really good Q&A. I would recommend looking at this. I've done some, if you even go to my YouTube channel, so even if you go to, probably if you type in Maria Rael chat log, I'm sure probably my videos will come up first for that. So I've also did like a, oh, no, okay, great. So no, it isn't. Oh, here we go. Oh, interesting. I would have thought that's pretty crap by the YouTube algorithm, or maybe it's crap by me, but Maria Rael, or maybe if it's one, because this is the way that Maria represents it. Yeah, there we go. But even still, that's pretty crap. Maria Rael shuts down the IRC chat log, Maria's old chat log. So I obviously need to do some, just for purposes of what's it called, the SEO. I need to do some now Maria Rael with Maria Rael in the second word. So even if you go to my YouTube channel, I mean, this is one where I started to break down the chat log, but even on a computer as well. Just FYI, on a computer, when you go to like somebody's channel, you can also just type in the channel in the search. You can't do this on the phone. I don't know if you can do it on an iPad or not, but on the computer. So you would go on the computer, you would go to the person's channel, and then you would use the search. So if I wanted to find out about the chat log here, because I broke down parts of the chat log, but I would strongly recommend that you also just go and read it. So there you go, chat log. And then obviously, I mean, I've done a lot on the chat log, but I'm still, so yeah, you probably go back to like this one here. So this, what is Atropa, the 414 dev chat log. That's a really good one. I should probably link some of those in my description from now on as well, actually. So, but I would definitely recommend having a look at this to get a feel for what the Atropa ecosystem is all about. Then there's a link in there with this particular link here. So this is Maria Rael's GitHub. So Busy Toby, that's Maria Rael. This is his GitHub. So all his coding is here. So this has all the different, so this is not all of them. This is not all of them. This is like just, it hasn't been updated for a while, to be honest. I don't even know if some of these, so for example, yeah, see, look, so this is the Atropa address. So that's his old address. So this actually hasn't been updated. So I probably wouldn't use this, but it's still cool to see it, to get like an overall idea of like, okay, well, okay, these royalty tokens, what does that mean? And you can start to maneuver your way around here. These are all to do with affection. Dysnomia, these ones here, there was ones that used to be like, so these were, I think all these contracts here are all mintable, for example. So you can familiarize yourself that way, or you can familiarize yourself this way, which has all the tokens. So this gets updated. So as soon as Maria launches the tokens, I think this automatically gets updated into here, perhaps. Or no, it doesn't, because it actually looks like it's quite old. So the people, whoever updates this, so you just keep your eye on this. Obviously, the other thing is, because I've also got the links for the telegrams. The other way that I look into it as well is I've got the telegrams pinned. So whenever Maria is launching new tokens, so cheat on the bar test. I gave this one a finger. Yes, I gave it the finger, and somebody else gave it the finger too. I gave these little poos, vomits, poos, clown. Anyway, so this can potentially also be an indicator for like what a good token is. Because I remember, for example, which ended up being one that was good, because the people who really follow this ecosystem, they might know like, oh, that's a good one. So whether you even trust this as an indicator, well, I'm going to steer clear of this because everybody's saying that this is shit. So I'll stay away from that one. So yeah, I keep an eye with this Atropa new contract. So when people ask like, oh, how do I find the HotX contract? Well, the way to find it is this way or this way. So yeah, definitely try do your own research. That's strongly recommended with the Atropa ecosystem. So Alex, I answered that question the other day, if you want to have a look at the stream the other day. So what's going on, Baggio? Hope the diamond is safe. I don't even think he's seen the diamond, man. I don't even think he's seen it. So sorry to all that lost on the 414 dev stealing people's sacks. Not sure what you mean by this, Zephyr Trips. Did you get booted from the Hex conference today? Double R, I didn't. I got muted. Brizology is a Pulsechain Hex maxi, and I was spamming. I was just having a laugh. I was just like, buy EHEX, buy EHEX to buy 1 billion EHEX, buy 10 billion EHEX. And I did 4 quick consecutive messages, and so I got blocked. But I'm sure if I was talking about one of Brizology's tokens that he likes, he wouldn't have blocked me. But I got muted temporarily. So I think it's just maybe Brizology having a little power trip there. But I still love you, Brizology. But he doesn't like EHEX now. So he's constructed the idea in his mind that we've invented Pulsechain for Pulsechain Hex, and we should all focus on Pulsechain Hex. So yeah, if I'd said buy P-Hex, he probably wouldn't have blocked me. I would almost certainly guarantee that. So yes, this is how you can look for example, HotX. So then you can see the contract address here. Then the other thing I've got in there is I need to do more of these. Oh, what's this? It's an 11.1% merge discount. I really need to do that. Oh no, see, this is why dark mode sucks. The wang. Dark mode sucks the wang. It sucks. It sucks so bad. It's so much better white. BFF that delight. So anyway, so now you can have a look at this. I would recommend having a look at this. This is a good little read up. So it depends. Like, I like learning about things from a lot of different kinds of mediums. So I think that this is a really only 24 likes. Damn, bros, you guys are harsh as fuck. 24 likes, 2,600. Just smash the like button, for goodness sakes. Smash the like button. Everybody takes, nobody gives. God damn. What are you going to do to get around these joints? So in any case, if you read this, please just hit the like. Just do me a favor and hit the like. Goodness me. Anyway, you can read this. This is a little write-up on the Atropa ecosystem. Well, not a little write-up. It's quite an extensive write-up. It's part 1. I was going to do, I still need to do part 2. I was going to do part 3 as well. So yeah, part 1 is what is Pulsechain. Then I'm going to do what is pDAI. So I might end up doing that maybe. I'm not even going to say what I'm going to do. I'm just feeling like so lazy and trash these days. So who is Rael, the 414 dev, and what are the IRC chat logs? That's going to be part 3. So yeah. Anyway, you can have a read up on that. The link is in the description. This one is like my everyday go-to now as well. So whenever a new token gets launched, I'm using this. And I'm straight away entering the contract address here, and I'm scanning. I'm also looking at it on the Block Explorer as well. So I'm using the Block Explorer a lot. So this is how I navigate my way around. So, you know, with the Atropa, I mean, how good is this? I mean, Atropa it's 1.1 billion tokens and 795 million is in liquidity. So basically like 75% of the tokens are in liquidity. That is bullish AF. That's bullish AF. The fact that 75% of these tokens, $134 million of liquidity, that's bullish. That's really good. Now, some of this is going to be burnt liquidity, and the burnt liquidity is liquidity that can't be sold. So in other words, burnt liquidity is one of the foundations of the Atropa ecosystem. When Maria buys 2 tokens, or creates a token. So when he bought pDAI and he created Atropa, he bonded them together. He wouldn't have bonded I don't know how much of the 5 billion he would have put in. Maybe it was 50%. I don't know. Let's just use 50% for example. So he made the Atropa ecosystem with 1.1 billion tokens, and then he bought 5 billion pDAI. So then let's say he did 50%, so 2.5 billion pDAI and whatever that is, 5.55 billion Atropa, bonded it in liquidity, and then he burnt the liquidity. So burning that liquidity means he throws away the access to that liquidity. He can't access that liquidity. So when you go to PulseX, I'm not going to, yeah, when you go to PulseX, you have all your liquidity here. So if you've got, when he would have created that, that would have got added here, Atropa and pDAI. But what he would have done is he would have sent that contract, the created contract for that liquidity pool, and he would have sent it to, for example, the debt address or the burn address. So he would have possibly sent it to this debt address, which means nobody can access it, which means those tokens, he can't sell those tokens. All that can happen with those tokens is they can be bought into, and as a liquidity pool, obviously also people can sell into it. But it creates more buy pressure than sell pressure. It removes the sell pressure of the dev, the creator, and it creates buy pressure. So it gives confidence to the market as a valuable asset. So the fact that 75% of this is in liquidity and $134 million in liquidity, I mean, yeah, it's probably safe to say that it's hands down the number one ecosystem in all of Pulsechain. And I would argue it's the number one ecosystem in all of cryptocurrency, because I believe that Pulsechain is the number one blockchain. So therefore, if this is the number one ecosystem, then in my opinion, this is the number one ecosystem in all of cryptocurrency. And I'm trying to say that as objectively and unbiasedly as possible. Even though I'm talking about this every day, I wouldn't waste my time talking about it if I didn't think it was absolutely freaking genius, if I didn't think it was absolutely freaking awesome. I wouldn't be wasting my time. It is absolutely awesome. And there's nothing in cryptocurrency that even comes remotely close to it. Nothing. Solana's full of meme coins that do nothing. There's like other protocols and cool little things and cool little inventions. I'm not going to take away from them, but nothing comes close to the beauty of what this is. He's creating a decentralized financial system on the blockchain. So imagine taking the whole global financial system, converting that into tokens on a blockchain, and then putting it on a blockchain. Nobody's done that. Nobody's done that. Nobody's replicated that. How it's such a simple and profound idea. It's just brilliant. So yeah, that's what I would do. So then it's not so easy necessarily to buy tokens sometimes. So the way that you want to buy tokens is you need to understand the liquidity setup. So this is why I'm always using liquiditypoolversals.app, because I want to see, I will want to look at, okay, what's the best blah 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 blah. What's the best liquidity pathway to that particular token? So for example, if I wanted to buy some Atropa is probably, if you wanted to buy like, I don't know, let's say you want to buy $10,000 of Atropa. Well, you're not going to go through WETH. You're not going to go through Duck. You're going to try to find, what was this? Your friend Summy fan token. You're going to try to find something where it has the highest liquidity. So obviously that's with DAI Stablecoin. So that's pDAI, or this is PUSDC, or down. So you're going to try to find where the biggest liquidity pool is that you can go through to minimize your slippage. So also when there's new tokens, so if we use a new token, so let's just use HotX because it's still the, we're in the kind of Hex conference kind of vibe. So this is the only thing that is a bit, let's have a look. See here, where's HotX? HotX, copy link. I mean, I'll just open it. Then I'm going to copy and paste it. Oh, here we go. Cheeky. Give it to me. Yeah. So I'm going to use HotX, duplicate this. I'll keep Atropa there just in case I need it again. It might not necessarily be like, I want to buy 10,000 of this, and then you try to buy it with Pulsechain. It might not necessarily be the right option. You might have to go through a certain route to get there. So this is when people talk about things like liquidity routes. So I'll show you through the example of HotX as like a clear example because it's new and it doesn't have a huge amount of liquidity pools. Whereas, you look at Atropa, it's got nearly 1,000 liquidity pools. So, okay, so HotX has what the hell is this? What the hell is this? All right, abjuration. It wasn't HotX. That's fine. I thought I pressed HotX. Obviously not. What the hell? Well, this is going to confuse people if that ain't HotX. There is no abjuration. So that's how did I don't know how that happened. Anyway, yeah, maybe Well, there you go. So then at least you'll be able to figure that out. So this should be HotX. There we go. So that's HotX. So, all right, let's bring up HotX. So abjuration, I think, must be some kind of other Atropa ecosystem token. So then also, while this is loading, I'll also look at the holding patterns. So obviously, for example, with HotX, the holding patterns at the start was the dev, the 501 wallet, which is Maria's wallet, used to be hang on a second. What's this? According to Khaled on YouTube, a dev named 414 did a rug pull a few days ago. This 414, not to be confused with James Ellis Osborne. It is. Yeah, the 414 dev. Yeah. Okay, that's something different, man. So, yeah, this is the problem, right? So this is why this ecosystem is something that you really need to be doing your research. This is why I keep trying my hardest to help educate people so that they can be confident with it themselves, because it's what he was talking about here. AN is there was a dude that was creating all these tax tokens, and then he did a pre-sale called 414, and the pre-sale was going to be for it's actually a really cheeky fucking bastard. It's actually a really good idea as a scammer. Like, actually, yeah, I mean, gosh. All right, I'll say it, because if you guys see this, then be wary. Be wary, okay? So he basically created all these tax tokens, which were giving rewards in Atropa tokens and pDAI and Wrapped Bitcoin. I think he did like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 of these tokens. Then he did a pre-sale for the next tax token, which was going to be the 414, which was going to be rewarding in Atropa. And so he created the token called 414. Oh, Brisbane. It's thundering. I love this place, man. It's summertime. It's thundering. It's pissing down all of a sudden. Oh, Brisbane. What a place. So then, because of that, 414, then he ended up rugging it. So yes, that's not to be confused with this dev. That's why you have to do your research. But the reason why he would have used 414 is the Atropa dev's wallet used to be 414, but now it's 501. So the holding patterns. So the holding patterns for HotX, for example, it was like 99% with the Atropa dev, which is the 501 wallet. So if you looked at that and you're like, oh, I'm going to ape into this coin, but the dev owns 99% of the tokens, you probably don't want to be buying into that. You probably want to wait to see what they're going to do, or you want to try and understand. Like, generally, when he launches tokens and he owns the majority of the tokens, he's either putting it in liquidity straight off the bat, putting it all in liquidity, or he's holding it and he's selling it down. So that's what he did with G-Baby, that the GWAT, for example. So he said it's going to get to this target. By the time he finishes selling all his tokens, it's going to be at this target. So that's what he did. So HotX, if I wanted to buy HotX, for example, well, it's not necessarily so easy to buy with Pulsechain if I wanted to buy $10,000 worth of HotX, because the biggest liquidity pool with Pulsechain is 13,000. So you're going to get massive slippage, or you're going to have to do lots and lots of little buys, and it's going to take you forever. So instead, you would probably go like, okay, well, Hex is a big liquidity pool. Then maybe I can navigate to see, okay, what's a big liquidity pool with Hex? But obviously, we very easily know that Hex is going to have big liquidity pools with Pulsechain. So then you would swap your Pulsechain for Hex and then your Hex for HotX. So you can do it manually like that. You can also rely on the auto router, but the auto router is not very good. So I always do it manually, because the auto router with this is not very good. Even Pitius is also not going to be very good with these obscure Atropa ecosystem tokens. So it's always better to just do it manually. So yeah, that's it really. I mean, that's how you navigate the Atropa ecosystem. So there's a lot to it in like really figuring it out and really understand that it's like this one total system. It's trying to be anti-scam proof, anti-rug proof, anti-cheats, anti-greed, anti-everything. And it's something where it's going to be a long-term thing. And I mean, if you just look at the charts, the mathematics of the charts, the mathematics of the way that Maria bonds things, like everything's very, very deliberate. Everything is very, very deliberate. This token, this new token, 16.5K with 16.5K. This one, 2,000 with 2,000. I mean, there's this one. So this interview now. So he's started putting what is that? 1.1 million tokens with some TSFI, 1.1 million tokens with some Atropa, 1.1 million tokens with some legal. So then with this interview token, for example, oh no, this is bar. Yeah, most. So then you could look at, so maybe you would look at that and go, okay, what's all the liquidity pools in? Do I want to get this token? Why would I want to get it? Those are the answers that, to be perfectly honest, very few people can really give you an answer and say, yeah, that's a good token to buy. There's really no simple answers. You really have to kind of figure this out for yourself, and really, like, this is why, like, I mean, Dick Khaled Crypto actually also does talk about the Atropa ecosystem, the verse. They also talk about this, so you should look at those guys. Adam Vibra Finance also talks about the Atropa ecosystem. Somi from time to time talks about it, but no one really talks about it regularly. So there's no like regular source of information. I would probably be it, which kind of sucks because, yeah, when I learn things, I want to like watch other people and formulate an opinion on what they're saying as well. So it makes things difficult. So anyway, I'm going to leave this one as short and sweet. So those Hexicans are a strange bunch. They believe in staking for 15 years, missing any other, I think that there's some validity to the 555. I really do. I think if Pulsechain succeeds, then the 5555 narrative succeeds. If we can get to the first 555 stake, 5555 stake, the Quattro Cinco stake, and we're higher in price on Hex than the previous all-time high, then those guys, I think it's going to be really hard to outperform that. If Hex is our Bitcoin, it's going to be hard to outperform the 5555 stakes. And I think it should be that way. I think those guys who do the delayed gratification and play the system as it should be, and if they do it in the way of, like, you're holding Bitcoin from day one to today, like, you get rewarded the most by not selling, by not trading, by just holding. Same as Amazon. I do feel it should be the same with Hex, and I certainly hope it is. I have some 555 stakes, but it's not the majority of my portfolio. Hex is the majority of my portfolio, but not the 555 stakes. So I want the 5555 narrative to succeed. But for me, there's no opposition. It's just like, well, we're on a blockchain. If we want people to come and buy Hex, then we want everything else on this blockchain to succeed. So people aren't just going to come here to buy your Hex coins. They're going to come here to buy, what's the latest token? G-Baby that the guy, oh, well, I want to, or what's another token that is launching? Like, people want their own 10,000x. They don't want to pump your 10,000x and get 10x. People want their own potential for a 10,000x. So let me just have a look at G-Baby for a second, because that's often looked at. But I just want to show you that as an example of, like, holding patterns, for example. Why? So now G-Baby that the guap. And again, Telegram groups pop up for these things all the time as well. So now G-Baby that the guap. We'll get rid of HotX. And also I'll bring it up on here. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to add it to my watch list, my multi-charts. G-Baby with Pulsechain. Yeah, let's do it with 1 month, 29 days. It looks like this is pretty much one of the oldest, so V2. And I just want to show you, the reason why I want to show this is because I want to show, like, how Maria was basically selling this down. So now if you look at the holding patterns for G-Baby in the know, G-Baby that the guat, BFF that the loat. So it's a derivative of BFF that the loat, G-Baby that the guat. So 2,100 holders. Holy shit. That's a lot of holders. So, wow, who's this? 89C. The big dog over here with 5,480. I wonder if that's Saki Booze, or maybe that might be Ben Popfin. Who knows? Good on you, whoever that is. So G-Baby that the guat. And I want to just show, if I go to, damn it, I'm going to need to do it with one of these tokens. Just 1 second, just so I can copy and paste Maria's wallet. So this is Maria's wallet here. So the creator. So when you're looking to see if it's an Atropa token, you want to see the creator these days is the 501 generally. But now also Maria's creating all these tokens through like a contract factory. So it's kind of making it even more difficult to keep track of things. But I think it's, I mean, there is some deliberateness to that as well. So, all right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to show what Maria did for this one, for example. So when this, man, you won't be able to see it in this one because maybe it was with a lot of, so let's go G baby, and possibly what would be the biggest, one of the biggest pools, probably like maybe BFF, maybe his BFF. He sold the crap out of, no, what pool could it have been in? G baby. What's the oldest one here? Yeah, so just by me doing these things as well, I'm showing you how I'm navigating around it and figuring these things out. So how would I figure out, okay, what's the oldest liquidity pool? How can I find that? Well, I can look here and scroll through here, or I can go to, for example, liquidity pool versus.app. Still haven't. So I'll bring it up on liquidity pools versus.app, and this is really great because it will tell you how the liquidity pools, like the different kinds of information. It doesn't yet have percentages on it, but I was told by the dude who designed this that there will be percentages in the future. So you'll see what DEX it's on. You'll see the base amount. So this base amount is the amount of G baby on that side, and then the quote amount. So in this particular liquidity pool, there's 11,398 G baby, and then 148 KISS. And then so this is the price quote, and then the price base, and then this is the price quote, and this is the amount of liquidity. So then if I want to look for the oldest liquidity pool, I would just go like this. I mean, I can sort this out by liquidity or the amount. So I'm going to sort this out in the age. So BFF. So I wonder even if it was prostitution. So here's the pool address. So I can also just very simply take the pool address. So remember, when you bond two tokens in liquidity, it creates a PLP token, which is a Pulsechain liquidity pool, which is a pool address. So now I'm going to take this pool address because basically what I'm trying to do is I just want to show you guys one of them that Maria was selling heavily into, and I would suspect G baby might have been one. Maybe even could prostitution have been one? Maybe. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's me, baby. I was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those were the days. Those were the glory days. All right, so let's have a look here. Oh, it's thundering outside. Oh, I have to open the window. Oh, lightning as well. Fuck, I love you, mother. I don't know if you can hear the rain or not. I am not apologizing for that. Oh, the smell of rain as well. My word. What a wonderful thing nature is. Mother nature. We always say God, He, the creator. Everybody forgets about mum. Everybody forgets about mum. God is a mother and a father. That's going to be controversial to people who are attached to the Bible and the Quran, and I'm just like, it doesn't have to be a war. It doesn't have to be like a conflict of opinion, but God is a mother and a father. Like it's very logical if you really think about it. I actually had a Christian tell me that this was like a massive, massive sin. And I'm like, really? Really? Do you think maybe like it might have been because of the patriarchal society that basically demeaned women for like all of human history, that might have maybe come up with that idea that the mother is like the evil aspect? I mean, what a load of horse shit. Of course, everything has a mother and father. Why also would not the universe itself have a mother and father? So Mother Nature, shout out to you, Mum. I love you, Mum. And I will never forget about you, Mum. And the people who find you quicker will be able to help the rest of the world quicker. All right, so I'm trying to find the oldest liquidity pool here. This is the oldest liquidity pool. So maybe we're going to be able to see Maria Rael's selling patterns in here. So the 2501 G baby. Yeah. Let's have a look. See. Oh man, which one was he selling it down, bruh? Which one was he selling it down into? How very very unusual. Anyway, at least you'll get an. I mean, okay. I mean, look. Basically, then you've only seen him buy there. God damn it! This is not going to show the point. Anyway, if I could find whichever chart that he was selling into first, basically you would have seen that all this price action on the down. And if me linking Maria Rael's wallet here, so basically what I'm trying to do here on Deck Screener, for example, I'm trying to find, okay, I'm going to filter like the buyers and the sellers on this wallet. So this is Maria's wallet. So I'm going to filter. So I'm going to filter. See here, you can see the maker. You can see all the wallets here. So now I'm going to filter it by Maria Rael's wallet. So anyway, you would have been able to see as he sold the crap out of this. So yeah, so you would have seen that. So the reason why I wanted to show this is because this is like a really key play with everything that happens in the Atropa ecosystem. Well, not everything. This is a key play. This is a key kind of play that happens in the Atropa ecosystem where Maria will be like, okay, I want to give attention to this token now. I'm going to sell the crap out of it. And he also names it in the know. So it's like, yeah, then basically the market starts to buy it up and the market just does what the market is doing. And then the liquidity bonding is like, it just does what it's doing. And just by from the buying patterns, it's gone up. So if you bought down here, you're up on G baby, you're up like, 50x if you were getting the bottom. So, lightning, beautiful. So yeah, the target for this is 4,800, which is the time, the price at the time of it being created of BFF that the load. So yeah, those are the things to keep an eye out for. Can you guys hear the thunder? Can anyone hear the thunder? Oh, it's so beautiful. It really, really is. It's my nature. That's my nature. That's me. So yeah, in terms of the Atropa ecosystem, it's not just about buying the first thing that comes out. Maybe you can. Maybe that's your strategy. Just buy every new token that comes out. But also it's about paying attention. It used to be about paying attention to the chat log and things like this. And there was BFF, where this happened with BFF. There's been numerous other tokens that this has happened with, where people who pay attention and seeing what's going on and seeing the holding pattern, seeing it get sold down, it's like, okay, if it then gets bonded in liquidity, then just price action is going to move it up. If it starts to get the big players like Zach tweeting about it, Steady Pup creating an ecosystem around it, a Telegram group around it, then it's something to be mindful of. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. So less than an hour. My head hurts after missing one bull. Just imagine trying to pay bills, get ahead, retire, buy a Lambo and get whatever you want. And it could be possible, but not for 15 years. Yeah, I mean, I guess it really depends on the individual. But yeah, that also is not the kind of style that I want to play. So buying some more G Baby tonight and some Wrap Bitcoin. What's going on, Fatina? When I hear or see the word core coins, I think of B-Root's core coins video. Yes, exactly. So anyway, thanks very much, everyone, for joining. There's no questions. Hopefully this is a good little for the new people into the ecosystem, how to navigate around it. Try to make it shorter. Tried to answer the questions. Tried to make it long enough that just by navigating through the video, there's like a richness of information. But if it's too long, then watch it on 2x speed. What are you going to do about it? Unless you want to get up here and make some videos. So thank you very much, everybody. Take care.